Thank you, Bailey.
You're welcome.
No, seriously though, thanks for coming in today. It's great to work with you over the last couple of years, and we're gonna
It's been a couple of years. Oh, great! Yeah. Oh man, everybody, when people like ask how long I've been doing it, I still have to like stop and think, 'cause it's like,
and it's been 2 years already.
Almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
In May, you started in May, right?
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Who's counting?
I don't know. It's not me.
Fun though.
Yeah.
So you received a really good review recently, and I wanted to read that to you, and maybe you could respond to them. But yeah, so it was a really good review. So Bailey was an amazing resource during our first home buying journey. Bailey excels at being upfront and critical while also being supportive of your preferences. You'll appreciate his keen and honest eye when touring homes and his amazing communication. If you want a realtor who will take the time to get to know you and find your best home, your guy is Bailey. Pretty awesome review, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think teachers typically have a better, easier time kind of explaining things and being patient. Just your history, and we'll get into that a little bit. But what do you think of the review?
I remember who wrote it, and they were really great to work with as well. But the thing that sticks out is the explaining everything up front and in full. I found that that's so important, to explain everything as thoroughly as you can so that the buyers or the sellers know exactly what they're getting into. That mitigates problems down the road if they know what they're getting into, and you can address the potential questions before they come. That makes everything easier. So
super important, right? Setting expectations.
Yep.
I know the few times that we were out looking at homes together, and that tour we went on where we went through a few of our coming soon listings, the way that you were able to share your knowledge with the team. Do you have any background in that, like before real estate? Like how did you learn all of this stuff?
So my dad's like a handyman,
Okay.
and he owns an HVAC shop
Sure.
as well. So I was exposed to, the mechanical part of houses from an early age and helping him out. That really helped out. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have at least a little bit of knowledge. We're not inspectors.
Yep.
But we can at least try to give them more general, them being the buyers, more general guidelines on the systems of the house that they should know about and potential issues that could come up in an inspection report.
For sure.
If you address it before, the report doesn't seem as scary.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And going through houses with people, and they're going to notice the good things and the shiny new things, but
Right.
sometimes the stuff that people don't like to look at, like furnaces and ductwork and plumbing, we have to be the bad guys, or we have to point it out to just make sure they're aware of what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's something I think I picked up from you, actually. One of the first tours that you took me on when I was brand new, you said it's not your job to sell the buyers a house. The house will sell itself. It's your
Right.
job to fill in the blanks, basically, of like what they don't know or what they don't know what to look for. So
Definitely.
that was good.
Yeah.
That was a
So
good
we're
nugget.
we're not in a sales business, and I
No.
think a lot of people think that real estate agents are salespeople,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're in the customer service business. We're in the relationship business, getting to know people and finding out what they really want versus trying to talk them into buying a 1983 Hyundai, right?
Yeah, as fun as that would be.
Does kind of sound fun. So, what actually got you into real estate? Like, what, I guess, sparked it for you to get into real estate and take your class and test? Like, why?
So I'm sure it's a similar story for everybody else on the team too, but or for a lot of people, I guess. But the pandemic hit. One of the other agents, Jim, and I worked together before I got into real estate, or before we both got into real estate.
Yeah.
And he left the job that we were at together prior, and then he was just basically like in my ear the whole time,
Yeah.
like every day, like, dude, it's so sweet. You know, you got to get into it. And so I did.
Pretty persuasive when he wants to be.
Well, he's persuasive and persistent, I think is the word.
Yeah.
But I had like I had no idea what I wanted to do. Got furloughed from that job, and so I had a bunch of time at home, and so I was like, maybe I'll try this out. You know, I had a background in fixing things and home, like knowing the systems of a home, so I think that really helped too. Like that wasn't a hurdle that I had to cross. It was just everything else, but that's a big part of it. So yeah, I just wanted to try something new.
Okay.
That's basically what it boils down to. Yeah.
It's I think the pandemic brought a lot of people into real estate. It made people reevaluate their life choices, right? Like what's important to you? Do you want to spend time at home, or do you want to really work for yourself and kind of keep what you catch? I don't know if that's the right term, but
keep what you catch. I like it.
And it's really about having a limitless opportunity where you can really kind of build a career the way you want it.
Yeah.
That's what I like about real estate. So, what would you say is your real estate superpower?
Being sometimes maybe too brutally honest. I'd say that's mine. Like you said, when we go through places, it's not our job to highlight the countertops or whatever. Like it's the issues we need to highlight. And I think maybe sometimes I do that like too harshly, where it's like, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Especially like the first couple showings with people, they might be a little bit, whoa, because they're not expecting that, I don't think. By the time,
that's not what you see on TV, right?
No, right. So. But by the time we get to the closing table, I feel like they have a much more holistic understanding of a house, more than just like carpet and windows and stuff. It
can be tough. I've definitely ran into similar situations myself, and our job isn't to point out everything; it's to make sure that we point out the obvious stuff. But a home inspector, they can be a little overcritical and not really deliver the news in a like reassuring, comfortable way. Right? So, what's an obstacle in real estate that you feel like you've overcame, or you're now better at than you were when you first started?
Definitely just communicating with people. I did sales before, and so you need a certain set of skills to be successful in like a retail setting with doing sales. So I had that background, but delivering this kind of news is a little bit different. There's more weight to it, than selling somebody something that's $10 versus something that's $200,000. So, communications was a big hurdle for me. I was never good at that. Be that like actually talking face to face with people, or texting back, or emailing back, or calling back. That was actually one of my New Year's resolutions this year, was to be better at communicating with my clients. And I think I did that. I mean, you've
done well. So even in that review, they mentioned communication, and lots of your other reviews, they mentioned communication. And I think and when I've had conversations about you with other agents and clients, that's usually something that comes up, that you communicate well and you explain things, which I think, I mentioned it earlier, but you have a teaching background and working with kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm a part-time band teacher.
Okay.
I teach middle school band at a school in Rockford. It's Our Lady of Consolation. So I've got I teach 5th through 8th grade there, and I have 2 groups, a beginning and an advanced group. And they're awesome. It's really fun. And I also teach at Livingstone's Academy.
Okay.
Just 5th and 6th grade on 2 days a week, which is also very fun. It's a different environment, but both schools are super fun. So that's I was unsure of if I wanted to. This is part of the reason why I got into real estate too. Is like, this is another part. Like, I was unsure. I don't know if I wanted to teach or not. After I was getting out of my undergrad program, I had no clue. But I took both things on at the same time, and both of them are working out, I think, equally well. So it kind of all worked out.
well, if I had musical ability, I think teaching band or orchestra would be a lot more fun than teaching math or something. But
yeah, it's different.
Or if I knew math, right?
Yeah,
So.
not to knock, not to dig math teachers, but I think teaching band's definitely more fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more hands-on. That's the thing I like about it. It's more hands-on. So, yeah.
So being on the team, about a year and a half with us now. Like, what would you say is the biggest? What you take away from the team? What is your biggest value that the team provides for you?
Like endless support and constant support. Especially when I was starting out, and I'm sure this is the same for every other new agent. The amount of like back end support that the team provides is crazy. I mean, it's awesome. I don't think, if I were to be an independent agent, or if I would have started out independently, I don't think I wouldn't have known half the stuff I know now.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did it take you to pass the real estate test?
It took me two times. I passed it, right?
I don't know. Took me 3, so.
Yeah, I think it was 2 times.
Okay.
The first time, I was so mad. I missed by like 7 points.
Okay.
And I think they take your picture afterwards, I think, right?
I don't remember.
There's like a little picture on the thing, and my face was
we got to find that picture.
Like, yeah. It was hanging on my fridge for a while. Like,
Allie, we need this.
Yeah, I know. I stuck it up there when I failed. I was like, come on. But I like rescheduled it right away, and I crammed more, and yeah, I 2 times, I think.
I was off 1 point my first time taking it. So,
were you off by more the second time?
Nope, exactly 1 point again.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I retook the class before I took it the third time. I'm like, I'm not going to fail again. So I retook the class again. And that time I passed with a 95. So taking the class twice and the test twice, and I finally got a good score. So
I don't think I could have gone through that class twice.
Yeah.
That's bold, man.
It was, so the first time when I actually first got into real estate, I thought I could do it part-time, right?
Sure.
And my wife was pregnant with twins. I was still working in the cell phone business, and I took the class while she was pretty much like in her last trimester or whatever. And the first thing the instructor said to me was, most of you guys are smart enough to go take the test right now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for you, the state of Michigan requires you to take this 40-hour class. So to me, that just said check out, right?
Yeah.
And I already know what I need to know, but how much of the stuff that was actually in the class or on that test is like applicable today? Like if that's all you had, how do you think you would be doing?
I would know that an acre is 42,000 something square feet. Not much. I mean, it's like the legal side of things that a day-to-day agent doesn't encounter that much. But I think it's just stuff that like the state mandates that which is good.
Yep.
But yeah, there's nothing about writing offers. There's nothing about talking to other agents or prospective clients. There's nothing about lead generation. Like all the tools that you need to succeed are not in that test. It's just like amortization. Amortization tables and stuff. Like I don't touch those. I haven't touched those in 2 years,
You don't need to know how many acres are in a section.
No. One thing that was the easements and encroachments part, that's kind of cool because I showed a property recently that had a driveway going through somebody's property.
For sure.
Because they like sat behind, so it's like the primary and the secondary lot or whatever where that goes through.
Oh, okay.
And even I would have to like look that up because I told my client, I'm like, I don't know for sure. Let me look it up,
I guess it does give you enough information to know that you need to ask questions about things like that. So I guess it makes sense. So year and a half in, what advice would you give a new agent?
Stick with it because the first little bit's pretty hard. It was for me at least. I don't know about everybody else's experiences, but just the fact that like I didn't know exactly what to say at the beginning to the clients that were looking to me to know what to say, that was really tough. So
how do you learn?
Just by doing it.
Okay.
And by getting on a team where you can ask
other
those
people.
questions immediately and listen to other people talk. And I mean, that's huge too. Just the way that people talk to their clients, I mean, any question you have, you ask somebody and you have 10 people that chime in and give answers, that's great. But yeah, like I would say stick with it. I mean, it's tough getting into it. I remember in our interview before I was on the team, you said,
oh boy,
you were just like, you were very cut and dry because like Jim was so excited. He's like, yeah, it's so cool, like this and this and this. And you were sitting back like this. You're like, it's not easy. I was like, okay.
We were playing good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
I think
You were like, it's not easy. But that was good. Like if you would have said, oh yeah, I mean, it's cake, you know,
Yeah.
It's not. But having a good support system is great, and just sticking with it, you know, making mistakes and figuring out where you went wrong and adjusting your approach. Yeah.
So as we know, we're in a little bit of a market shift. Interest rates are going up. Homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. What are you doing to, I guess, pivot in your business and kind of stay on top of everything that's going on and keep your business moving forward through the shift?
So I work primarily with buyers. And so on that front, I'm not looking at the new listings every day. Every day I go through and see what's back on market, what got a price drop, and I filter through and see what's been sitting. Those are the opportunities that I'm sending to my clients. I know they're going to bring me the new stuff because it's always on the top page of Zillow or whatever.
Yep.
I'm trying to find them the stuff that just went back on market and we could swoop in and get it for, you know, less than asking, or have the seller pay for some closing costs or something like that for them.
Or that's happening. Yeah.
It's a ton. I mean, yeah, a ton. The past one, maybe 4 deals have all been at or below asking.
Okay.
And we've been able to ask for things after the inspection report came back. And it wasn't like, you know, well, we got 20 other offers to go to.
Yep.
It was like, yeah, like let's fix it and keep it together, which is a breath of fresh air.
Wasn't like that a year ago, was it?
No, I think I got thrown in the weeds when it was crazy. But
yep. Jumped in the deep end.
Yeah, I think another big thing that I've been doing in my business with the shifting market is just keeping more in touch with my buyers' lenders too.
Okay.
And really having a close relationship with them, because I need to know what their rate's at. I need to know how close we're cutting it on prices and stuff like that. I need to know if they can even if they can get concessions and how much is allowed on their loan program, stuff like that. So
sure.
That really, like, building that relationship's really important too. And I've been doing a lot more of that to try to keep everybody in the loop on what's going on, trying to get everybody the best deal possible.
What's important when you're selecting a lender?
Communication is, I'd say, probably number one, because if they communicate well, they've probably got a good brain and they can do most of the other stuff.
Yep.
You know, if you can't get in touch with your lender on a Sunday, I think that's a red flag.
We work on Sundays.
Yeah,
right?
like same thing with an agent. You know, communication's key. Like if I don't pick up the phone on a Sunday, they could call somebody else that will. You know.
Yep.
So you got to be on. The lender's got to be on. Not to say you have to work yourself to the bone, but that's what I look for in any lender, is like, if I call them, do they answer their phone? If I text them, do they text me back? Yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
Any advice you got for like first-time home buyers or somebody just getting into the real estate market to buy their first home?
Don't be afraid to get into it. I think a lot of people see quite a few barriers to getting into buying a home, and it may be, you know, stories that they've heard from people, or maybe a lack of dependable information about the process. But what I tell all my clients when I get them in their first-time home buyers, I just say, you know, there's a lot going on. Ask as many questions as you need to, because you need to be in the know. And let's go see as many houses as we can so that we can narrow down what it is you actually want and what it is you actually need in a house.
Sure.
Because I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, how can you if you haven't toured homes? I mean, most people have probably lived in one or two.
Right. And
so
a lot of times your parents are going to take you along for the home buying process, right? Mm-hmm. Share financial information, all that with their kids. It's not something you learn, and it's something that you need to hire a professional that knows what they're doing to kind of guide you through the process. So,
but don't be that's what I would say is don't be afraid to jump in, especially with somebody, an agent who knows what they're doing and who can guide you through the process and answer those questions that need to be answered. I mean, it makes it a whole lot easier for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's your view on the current real estate market, and how do you think it's going to change over the next 6 months?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
And that's what I tell everybody.
Does anybody?
No, I don't know. Your parents don't know. Your lender doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Right.
Because I can't see the future. I will say that for my buyers, it has been getting easier the past couple months to get something under contract without having to write $30,000 over or, offer all of this stuff to the sellers to say, please take my offer.
Right.
You can kind of, there's more wiggle room there where the deal can happen and you don't have to sacrifice as much as a buyer. That's the main shift I've been seeing, is that it's easier to get something under contract.
So outside of real estate, what are some of the things that you're into?
So obviously with my teaching background, I'm into music. I'm a percussionist. I play in a couple local bands too, which is a really fun outlet. We all have day jobs too, so we don't play too much, but it's just, fun stuff to do on the weekends.
Right.
So I do that. As you know, I'm very into cooking.
Yes.
And I've gotten more into cooking lately. Thank you for the sous vide. I'm going to cook duck in it soon. Soon.
What's stopping you?
I don't know. I got to get duck.
All right. Well, I don't know where you even get duck.
Some market. I don't know.
Right.
Cooking, I really like. When I was still living at home, like in high school, I was way into woodworking. And whenever I go home to visit my parents, my dad's got a shop in his basement. I still try to do some of that.
Yep.
As much as I can. And so when I eventually get a place, that's going to be like priority number one, is getting a little shop in the basement so I can do some woodworking stuff.
Right.
I want to have every piece of furniture in my house made by me.
Right.
That's not feasible. I know it's not going to happen, but I want to at least like tinker with stuff. So, I play video games.
Okay.
The normal stuff.
What video games are you
I'm
into?
a Switch guy.
Okay.
Big into Breath of the Wild.
Oh, is that
it's a Zelda game.
Zelda.
Yep. Yeah.
You recently got a puppy.
I did recently get a puppy. He's the cutest puppy in the entire world too. His name's Merlin.
Okay.
He's like 7 months now. He's getting big. I didn't realize that my girlfriend Allie has a bunch of pictures of him as a puppy, and he was like this big.
Yeah.
And now he's like a dog size. And
like 10 pounds, or what's
like,
big to you?
No, like 8 pounds maybe.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's bigger than he was. When we got him, he was like 4.5 pounds. He's just a little nugget.
Well, that's what puppies do.
I didn't know. I've never had a dog.
All right.
I don't know. I had a bird growing up. And
they start out smaller too.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. No. Merlin's great.
Yeah.
I walk him every day. He's a good boy. Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name Merlin?
Allie came up with it.
Okay.
Yeah. She picked him out. She went and got him, and she came home with him and said, "His name's Merlin." I said, "That's perfect." Because it is. I don't know how she figured it out, but it's the perfect name.
What about other? Do you take vacations or trips, or do you like to go anywhere? Is there any places around Michigan that you would say are good vacation spots, or around the country? What do you like to do, like travel wise?
In Michigan, yeah, I like the Traverse City area a lot. I grew up north, and so that was always like the day trip spot, like there, Petoskey, Harbor Springs. I really like that. Around the country, we haven't taken too many vacations because my girlfriend's a teacher too, and we got to kind of work on real estate schedule and 2 teacher schedules. But we went to I went to Miami Beach for spring break.
That's right.
Which was not our vibe. we got there and we were like, oh,
like
kept we
going south.
Yeah, we should have. We thought about renting a car and driving, or like driving north to go to like St. Augustine or something.
Okay.
But we hunkered down and partied, which I don't know. We're gonna plan something more chill. I think Maine or something this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a ton of traveling just because we're fresh out of college. We don't have a ton of time to outside of work, but we want to go to Europe
Okay.
soon.
My wife has said she wanted to do that too.
Yeah.
We typically do the all-inclusives or
Well, the Sam's Club packages.
any of that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or she's a whiz at Groupon stuff too.
Really.
And I guess there's like packages on Groupon, where it's like you go to the Maldives for like 5 days and it's like $1,000 or something.
Sign us up.
But it's like the worst possible times.
What's that?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
can't
think
remember off
there
the top of my head.
Is the worst time in the Maldives like better than?
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure it is. Well, maybe not if it's like 120 degrees outside.
I guess that would be
baking,
terrible. You'd have to stay in the water all the
sweating
time.
alcohol.
That would be terrible. So, you mentioned you grew up north. Where'd you grow up?
Rogers City, Michigan is where I grew up.
What's Rogers City known for?
We have the world's largest limestone quarry.
Okay.
Which is, if you look on Google Maps of Rogers City, it's right up here.
Yeah.
You'll see a pit and then a tiny town next to it. So the pit that the limestone is mined in is like way bigger than the town.
Oh,
next
that's
to
Rogers
it.
City?
Yeah, that's Rogers City. It's in Presque County. We
Okay.
used to have the only stoplight in Presque County in my town, and then took it away. It's a 4-way stop now. So there's no
stoplights.
no
out there.
stoplights in Presque County. Yeah.
Those are
Crazy.
the days, right? Memories of a stop.
Those are the good old days. Yeah, bring me back.
So, what brought you to Grand Rapids?
I just wanted to leave after high school. I think a lot of people that grow up in a small town tend to stay because it's familiar and it's what they know. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to throw myself into somewhere where I didn't know anybody, and that's what I did. So I went to Aquinas in Grand Rapids,
okay.
and didn't know anybody who was going there. None of my friends were. And I just said, yeah, that's cool. So
Right.
it's like way out of my comfort zone, but that's why.
It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's we actually have a lot of people actually moving from other areas in Michigan to Grand Rapids now. Grand Rapids has really been a kind of a draw for.
It's becoming a hub.
Yeah.
For sure.
But what's how long have you lived in Grand Rapids now? You went to Aquinas. How long have you lived in Grand Rapids?
I think it's 6 years now. I've
Okay.
been here. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do in Grand Rapids?
It's a good question. I don't know. My favorite thing to do in Grand Rapids, I'm in Gaslight now, so my favorite thing to do is take a walk down by Reed's Lake with my dog and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of great bars and great distilleries in town too that we like to go to like get cocktails, and that's really fun. We're not too big on the nightlife like clubs and stuff, but going out for dinner, there's a bunch of great restaurants. If you know where to find them.
What's your favorite restaurant over in Easttown?
Over in Easttown,
or
Yester
Gaslight.
Dog.
Okay. What about
100%. We like Olives in Gaslight. Olives
Okay.
is good.
What do you get there?
You can't ask me that question. I don't know.
Oh,
They've got good egg rolls.
We'll skip that one.
Yeah, we'll skip that one. We've only been there like twice. There's like no restaurants in Gaslight. I should have said Bodie's.
I do like Bodie's.
Bodie's is good.
Bodie's. I was put on to Odie's by Odie.
Bodie's by OD?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Brendan at Treadstone actually told us about Bodie's, and we went there for our anniversary just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So
We went there. I think I had like a bigger closing, and I said, let's go get some steak. And we went to Bodie's, and it's so good.
the food's really good.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite steak place in town, like steakhouse. There's a few other ones.
It's definitely up there.
I think Bodie's is the best. Atmosphere wise, this is just turning into an ad for Bodie's. Atmosphere wise, food wise, their wine list is great, hands down.
This message about Bodie's is brought to you by
Yeah, right.
Treadstone.
Brought to you by Treadstone Funding.
So we've talked about this before, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
When you asked me when we previously talked about it, I had a pretty good answer, and now I don't know. I see myself probably still in Grand Rapids, definitely still teaching wherever I'm at, definitely doing real estate still in some capacity, but times just change so much. I've learned that living day by day works better for me now than
Sure.
trying to visualize any
goals?
sort of
Okay.
picture. Yeah, which I know is tough and it's not gonna last, but that's the way that I've been operating lately. So 5 years, I don't know. I'll probably be happy and healthy, hopefully, and
Walking your little Merlin.
walking my little dog. He'll be 5 years old at that point, almost 6.
So, you got any funny stories or crazy stories in real estate? Something that maybe comes to your mind that you could share with us?
Yeah, I've like, there'd be like decks in the back of a house, with like rotten boards covered up by a rug or something.
Sure.
I've stuck my foot through one of those and had to call the listing agent and be like, hey, like this piece of rotting wood just fell under my foot as I walked over it. That's always pretty funny because you fall through and it's like, oh,
It sounds like a Roadrunner trap from Wile E. Coyote or
literally.
something.
Yeah.
How can people get in touch with you? If maybe they're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, how can they get a hold of Bailey?
Can we put my number on the
We could do that.
on the video?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best way. I mean,
Okay.
I've always, as most people do, I've always got my phone on me. And like we've talked about, I'm always available because you have to be.
Yeah,
So give you text or call, email if you want to.
sure.
Anything like that, I'll get back to. It's quickly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
Tune in, and thanks to all of us. Thanks to everyone who, all of us. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Start that one over.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with us today, and thanks to everyone who has watched this far. This is Small Talk with the Smallegan Real Estate team, and hopefully you subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Bailey.
Thanks.